And then finally, Noah Lyles, you have stepped in it, my friend, because we are the champions, my friends. So the United States, he had the question, very good question, by the way, why are the NBA champions called world champions? What are they what world are the champions of? The United States, which is odd because he's a U.S. track performer. So if he was from like France or somewhere in Europe, it would probably make a little more sense for him to make that type of statement. But let's explore it a little bit. Like so when you're looking around the NBA, 30 teams, 29 in the US, one in Canada, used to be two in Canada. But the NBA has the best players in the world. I think that goes without saying. When you look at the Olympics, outside of what in more recent history, there was 2004, where the whole bronze medal debacle happened. There was 1988, there was a bronze in 72, there was a silver, but the US has pretty much dominated world basketball at least since 92. If we're looking at modern history, so the last 30 years or so, the dream team came through, crushed the buildings, and to some degree, outside of that hiccup in 2004, the US hasn't looked back since. So like this was my big complaint about the NBA play-in tournament. Is that you got these teams within the league playing each other that would normally play each other. There's nothing different about it. You're going to start off in pods in your conference, so teams that you constantly play throughout the year more than not anyway. Because against the other conference, you do the two games home and away. Everything else is against your conference. So, my thoughts about the in-season tournament was why not make this a Champion League style tournament where teams from around the world can get together, sort of like a mini FIBA tournament, but instead of being nation against nation, United States against France, so on and so forth. It could be Denver Nuggets against Real Madrid, so on and so forth. Because I would love to see what team out there in the world is going to guard Nikola Jokic or LeBron James, if they were to play, obviously if Jokic was to play on his NBA team. So, I think that's the hard part for me about it because I understand, even though he was trolling and it worked because everybody's talking about it, including me, so like Noah Lyles is getting his 15 minutes of fame just like he was looking for, you know. But when you look around the world, the Premier League is considered to be the best soccer league in the world. And, it definitely is, you know, but whoever wins that league, usually Man City, they don't go around calling themselves the world champions, because they can be got, so it just, it's semantics to some degree. You're the world champion because you're the best league in the world. So until you can find a better league or a team from another league that can come beat an NBA champion, you just stuck with what you stuck with. So, like for example, again, like when you look at the Champions League last year, Man City won that. You know what I mean? But they're still not the world champs, even though I would argue they're the best team in the world, because they won the Champions League, because the Champions League is the best of the best. Now, obviously we're not putting Inter Miami up for that title, even with Messi. So there's levels to this. So, the Super Bowl champions, are they world champions? You would have to say yes, because where else is there quality football outside of the United States? I like Canadian football, but ain't none of those Canadian football teams holding the candle to say the Cleveland Browns. So, semantics is fun, trolling is fun. Congratulations, Mr. Lyles. You went viral.